Hello everyone, and today we're back into another top 5 video, and we're going to make the top 5 on the top 5 most overpowered Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. These Loomians are overpowered. They hit really hard while soaking a lot of hits, and are also massive threats to pretty much any team. So, with that out of the way, let's head right onto this top 5. Number 5 on the list, and it's actually the only roamer on the list, as it's Mutagon. There's a reason why Mutagon is one of the most overpowered Loomians in the game. Brawn boost, quick punch, you win. On the secret ability Mutagon, it hits extremely hard, and on the tank Mutagon, you can use Raidful Plushie and sweep any team. This thing is dangerous on both Mutagons, normal ability and secret ability. Brawn Boost Quick Punch is that dangerous. And while I heard that the Heavy Fist Mutagon is going to get a nerf in the future, that doesn't excuse the fact that Tank Mutagon is just as dangerous. Yes, it hits less harder, but the fact that it could soak a hit and use Raidful Plushie makes this thing really scary. It also has Frost coverage to hit Bug types and Spirit types with Telekinetic Sweep that can hit both Loomians on the field. This Loomian is overpowered. This thing has been an Uber for an extremely long time now, and it still deserves the Uber status. This thing is one of the most overpowered melee attackers in all of Loomian Legacy. But, even though it is really overpowered, a lot of Spirit types can beat Mutagon, and also a lot of Dark types and a lot of Loomians that can outspeed it can also beat Mutagon. And that's why Mutagon is number 5 and not higher. But even then, this thing is still extremely overpowered. Number 4 onto the list is actually going to be Eclipse. This thing has more immunities and weaknesses, while also having the best offensive typing in all of Loomian Legacy, while having an ability that makes you immune to dark and light moves with a solid speed stat and great ranged attack. It also has Raging Howl to hit other Eclipses. There are so much that is right with Eclipse. And yes, while its bulk isn't amazing, it can usually live multiple neutral hits. And the two things that it's weak to is Metal and Bug. The Metal weakness sucks, but Bug is the worst offensive typing in Loomian Legacy, so you don't even have to worry about Bug types that much. Dark Surge also has a chance to flinch, meaning that if you outspeed the opposing Loomian, you can flinch him down, and that's what makes Eclipse really scary. The fact that it has the best offensive typing in Loomian Legacy, with the best secret ability, and the ability to flinch the opposing Loomians down, that's what makes Eclipse really scary. It's also really easy to build around Eclipse, as I can see Eclipse on almost every single team, just because of how easy it is to build around. Those two immunities to Dark and Light are huge, and being immune to Spirit also helps as well. And that's why Eclipse is one of the most overpowered Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. It may not be as annoying as it used to be, but it's still extremely overpowered. Number 3 onto the list is going to be Barbadger. Yes, Mutagon may have priority, but Barbadger has Dauntless. The thing is, if the opposing Loomian has a super effective move, it gets a +1 melee attack boost. With its 82 speed, this thing hits extremely hard while being a great wall breaker. It's great with boots, it's great with power cuffs, and it has extremely good coverage. I mean, it's Brawler Ice Stab with Earth coverage. That's amazing. I mean, at +1, it one-shots a Wrestling. A Wrestling at full health. Wrestling's pretty bulky, and it got one-shotted at +1. Even then, the fact that it has Clay Slap to lower speed, Brawn Boost to set up, and it has one weakness, which is its really bad defensive typing, but if you combine that with Dauntless, that weakness turns into Barbadger's hidden strength. Barbadger is definitely one of the most powerful wall breakers in all of Loomian Legacy. And while its speed isn't that good, and while its bulk isn't that good neither, especially after Rogue Assault, it hits so hard that it doesn't matter. This thing can absolutely mow down a lot of stall teams, which is actually kind of insane to think about. And when combined with Poison Barbs and Barbs, this thing is unstoppable. And that's why it's in the top 3 on this list. Number 2 onto this list is going to be Pyroline. It makes sense. Pyroline is one of the most overpowered Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. It only has 2 weaknesses if it has Fanning Flame. And if you get hit by an air type move, you get a ranged attack increase. When combined with Rageful Plushie, this thing is given a +3. This also has Pyroline coverage, meaning that it has Ancient and Brawler coverage, so it can hit a lot of different typings. And it has Peace of Mind set up with Rejuvenate. This thing also has a very good health stat, meaning that it's actually somewhat bulky on both sides. And after a Peace of Mind, it can't die on the range side, which makes Pyroline extremely scary. It can also has a chance to burn, and this thing is just fantastic. This thing is one of the most annoying Loomians to deal with. There are pretty much no counters for Pyroline, even range tanks. The thing is, if you set up just a couple Peace of Minds, that Pyroline becomes a defensive tank to an offensive sweeper in the matter of a couple setups. That's what makes Pyroline dangerous, and the Volcanic Pyroline can pretty much one-shot any neutral Loomian at +1, which is insane. This thing is a force to be reckoned with, and it's definitely one of the most overpowered Loomians in the entire game. Honorable mentions on this list, and honorable mention number 1 is Helvantic. I needed to talk about this thing. This thing has amazing coverage, hits extremely hard, and in some situations, it's actually more threatening than Barbadger. But the reason why it's not above Barbadger is because it is harder to get the +1. You gotta KO another Loomian in order to get it, instead of just getting it right away. But it is faster, and it is a better typing as well. So it is very dangerous, but it definitely is an honorable mention. Honorable mention number 2 is Mutagon, which used to be the best Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. And while it's not the best Loomian anymore, this thing is still extremely scary. It's still the most effective melee tank in all of Loomian Legacy, and then after Resilience Boost, your Body Crash hits really hard. Not to mention that Primal Slash Body Crash coverage can hit pretty much anything in the game. So yeah, it's honorable mention number 2. The most overpowered Loomian in the entire game is Dragodyne. Dragodyne, again, makes number 1 on the list. I said it once before, and I'll say it again. No counters. After a Draco Beam, nothing can really survive Dragodyne. Not even Eclipse can come in because Jetstream is a threat. You also have Mud Spatter for Tyrex. And of course, Eggstorm has a chance to flinch, because why not? This has solid bulk as well. It can actually live multiple neutral hits. It has Slumber to heal. And once again, if it gets a couple +2s from Draco Beam, this thing can sweep anything in the entire game. As you can see, this beats the best range tank in all of Loomian Legacy. Yes, the best range tank in all of Loomian Legacy gets beaten by this. It's that insane. It also could snowball damage, has amazing coverage. There's so much good with Dragodyne, and yes, it does have a slow speed stat, but it doesn't matter. When your coverage is so good, you hit so hard even before Draco Beam, and if you don't run Anomaly, you could run Peace of Mind to set up, which is just amazing. This thing has some of the best coverage in the entire game. This thing hits extremely hard, and it's probably the most overpowered Loomian in the entire game. And it definitely deserves number 1 on this list. Dragodyne is overpowered. And here it is, Dragodyne, the most overpowered Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. Probably the best Loomian in Loomian Legacy as well. So yeah, that is my top 5 most overpowered Loomians list. If there are some Loomians that missed the list, tell me in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!